Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on The State here on WTV. My name is Ms. Na. The State is where we bring up topical issues of concern to yourself and to us as a people and as a nation, and then we delve deeper into it. We find solutions. And if possible, if government listens to us, then we would have some change in the nation or in the economy we would always be looking out for. But this program is proudly brought to you by the Christian Service University located in Kumasi. If you want to go into nursing, midwifery, teaching, communications, human relations, human resources, this is the best place for you. And so the admission for the next academic year is ongoing. Pick up a form. If you qualify, you'll be admitted into the school. I'll take a quick turn. We'll return shortly with the briefs. Do stay with us.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240-154825, or 0244-596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready for another experience of educative, fun, culture, and an atmosphere of worship? Then it's another Yasta season. The Youth Development Ministry of the Methodist Church Ghana is inviting all young people in the connection to the 19th Biennial Youth and Student Assembly from the 1st to 4th of August 2024 at the Pentecost Convention Center, PCC, Kaswa. Don't be left out. Come have an amazing experience.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us on The States. But before we sit down and bring you the topic and our panel who are going to join us to have this discussion, we would like to give you an executive summary of what we'll be discussing later when we are seated and we delve deeper into what we are about to talk on today. But the budget is read every year for the fiscal year, and it is presented on behalf of the President of the Republic. Now, the Finance Minister is also mandated to bring before Parliament the mid-year review of the budget every other year. And so yesterday we saw the Finance Minister go into Parliament, and then he read out what the fiscal year is going to look like, some of the achievements, some of the things that or the projects that have been commissioned or completed, and others that are ongoing. And so these are some of the highlights of it. But he also mentioned that the school feeding program has been increased. So from 2016 through to 2024, the number has gone up a little. So the beneficiaries are much more than we ever thought about in the year 2016. Then again, you look at the LEAP program. The other day we were here and we talked about the fact that each household is getting about 63 Ghana cedis. This time around, it's saying that the number of beneficiaries have increased. The same way, the number or the amount involved has also shot up a bit. We'll take a look at the National Health Insurance Scheme as well, and then more than a million people are on as we speak. And then currently up to 2018 to now, we have about 70 million people joining the National Health Insurance Scheme. Then again, you look at the capitation grants for a child, that is per child, it has also gone up. So currently it's about 15 cedis as at 2024. But then it used to be 5 cedis, and so an increment of 10 cedis has gone on there. You look at the District Assembly Common Fund as well, and then to persons with disability, it has also shot up to 50%. Now, double the number of student loan recipients now from 30,000 an average per year to about 58,000 currently, by removing the guarantor policy under the Student Loan Trust Fund. And so if you're a student, you can also go through this procedure, and then it's going to help you. But later when we sit down, we'll delve deeper into some of the highlights of the mid-year review that happened in Parliament yesterday. We'll take a quick turn, we'll return, we'll tell you who our guests are and our topic for today. Sorry, not sure.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Get ready for a transformational morning experience.
Sorina Shrine is here to build our spirituality, mental and physical well-being.
Through positive, inspiring actions and stories.
We bring you exciting activities and conversations that develop us as a people and as a nation.
We take a look at the trending issues in Ghana and the rest of the world.
And we also review the impacting stories from our local newspapers.
Every morning, we bring you stories of hope, change, and renewal.
We empower you through the Word of God and provoke you to live the purposeful life destined for you.
Join us, Anita Kwaku
and the Reverend 𝗟𝗓𝗪𝗘 Monday to Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we take you on an inspiring journey, live and exclusively on WTV.
You may also join us on Facebook at WTV Ghana and on YouTube at Wesleyan TV Ghana.
Sorry, not Shrine.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Sorina Shrine is brought to you by
Danwell Insurance, Multi-Credit Savings and Loans,
and the Methodist University Ghana.
Once again, thank you so much for joining us here on the stage. My name is 𝗟𝗵𝗲𝗏. Our topic for discussion, or our discussion points, is focused on the review of the 2024 media budget presentation in Parliament yesterday. And my guests are Professor 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗏, who is an associate professor of finance at the University of Ghana Business School. Then again, we have Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗘, who is the president for the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. He would be they'll be joining us on the lines, and then we'll have this discussion. But hello, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, good afternoon. All right, and so before we go into yesterday's presentation by the finance minister, what is your own assessment of the current state of Ghana's economy? Prof. Hello, Prof. All right, Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗏𝗓, let's go to Zoom and speak with Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗏. Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗏, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon, sir. Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Can you also hear me, please?
Okay. All right. And so before we go into yesterday's presentation by the finance minister in Parliament, what is your own assessment of the current state of Ghana's economy?
Well, it's an economy where we've seen improvement in terms of numerical sense.
Okay.
In the so we're talking about inflation coming down all the way from 54 to 23 thereabouts percent. Talking about interest rate stocks at the short-term end of the market also coming down. And then also looking at the cost of borrow being a bit high compared to, the previous years that the economy has been running. And so, generally, we see some numerical reductions. If you look at it in reference to last year, you will see we are doing well.
Okay.
And I can tell you that what to measure the performance of an economy, you don't use only 2 years as a reference point. We look at back in here, let's say 5 years, ascertain whether the things that to make the ordinary person comfortable in his own country is what we are seeing. We see inflation numbers coming down, and then the momentum that is added in sending inflation to 51% is still lingering on the market. So an ordinary person knows very well, I don't know, inflation numbers are coming down, prices are not really down as supposed to.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate the fact that you've told us what the economy looks like. But from where you stand as a president for the Ghana Union of Traders Association, was your expectations met? Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I am not the president of Ghana Trade.
Yes, sorry about that, Prof. But what was your expectations met?
Well, I would say it's a budget that I was expecting anything different from what came, because this is an IMF budget.
Okay.
It's a budget that you don't have your freedom go all out to spend.
Okay.
However, you are forced to raise revenue. And if you go into details, you realize that most of the tax handles that people were calling for to remove, especially a trade union Congress, Ghana Trade Union Association, were not removed. I'm talking about the company and the e-levy and all. And the reason why it was not removed was that it has been monitored for the IMF program.
Okay.
We've gone into agreement with IMF for which has been on to increase tax to from 14% to 18%. And so, under this IMF program, this government will not have any confidence to remove any tax.
Okay.
They can only add. If they can't add on, then they are forced to maintain. And even if they are maintaining, then it means that they have to cut down expenditure. And so I was not surprised to see the finance calling for a reduction in expenditure appropriation.
Okay. But did you were you expecting to hear something, and did you hear that?
And that's what I've told you. Across all the reading, I said I wasn't expecting anything different from what the IMF does. Exactly what the finance minister against.
And so what has been read to Ghanaians yesterday? Is it good for us as a country, considering what is happening with the economy currently?
Well, the finance minister missed out something in the budget, which I think it still holds up some uncertainties as far as our exchange rate is concerned.
Oh, okay. Can you give us an example?
Now, the finance minister talked about the exchange rate depreciation having declined from 30% to about 20%. But the question now is, what exchange rate is the government going to work with in the second half of the year?
Okay.
When you are not able to come out with any exchange rate, you leave the market to wonder. And uncertainty will so prevail on the exchange rate market. Saying that government is not ready assurance. And remember, we are going to service our debt. And especially the internal debt service. By 30th of this month, government will have an agreement with Eurobond, for which we have to come around 400 billion to pay off, activities, interest, and then other principles that are maturing.
Okay.
So effectively, it will put pressure on the exchange rate. And so the finance minister will have given us an assurance that we have enough of exchange rate to meet those debt obligations. And as a result of that, there shouldn't be any panic on the exchange rate part.
Okay.
But he went silent on it. And across the market, you don't see anything. And then also, it is not given any signal as to what they are doing to reorient the financial sector where, investment has come up all the way to a short-term level. If I say investment has limited itself to a short-term level,
okay,
that means that only treasury bills are being sold on the financial market. And as a result of that, the banks are having a field day of increasing their assets, which also it came up, he said it in the market, of increasing their assets through government bills investment by which is stopping the private sector on the fund that is need to expand to create employment. Because when you read the first few paragraphs of the article, they have indicated that the private sector contributes about 70% of our GDP. So if private sector is contributing 70% of our GDP, then why do you continue to compete on the little fund that is growing the economy with them by holding up T-bills interest rates so high to the level where the banks are not prepared to lend to the private sector, which they think, they pose more risk to their funds. And so, from where I sit, it's like government has hijacked the economy and is in control without allowing the private market and the individuals to also have, access to funds.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Prof. But hold on, I'll get back to you. Dr. 𝗟𝗵𝗘𝗃 has joined us. He is the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you also.
All right. And so before we go into what happened yesterday, I mean, the reading of the media budget review and all that, what is your assessment of what happened in Parliament yesterday?
Okay. So our major problem has been a high cost of doing business in this country, the numerous taxes that we have to contend with.
Okay.
And that has been our problem. But that's the reason why we are not expecting much from this media review, because our experience has shown that normally it is about revision of the budget, maybe the targets and all that, and maybe supplementary budget that they want. So we are not expecting that they tackle these major tax issues and all that. But our major concern has also been the exchange rate, inflation, and other economic indicators. The figures that have been shown by the finance minister means that we are having some gains. And this is what we are saying, that whatever measures that they have put in place for us to have these gains should be strengthened, and then to sustain these gains, because businesses thrives on stable environment. And the fact that inflation should come down, the exchange rate or depreciation, the city should be strengthened to minimize the depreciation and all that, is surely very good for the business community. And that's why we're also happy the fact that the finance minister promised that he's going to limit his expenditure and then stay within his limit to spend.
He's not going to ask for more money.
Exactly, because normally when they do excessive expenditure, that's where, because when you spend, where do you get the money? You have to tax the people to get
the money. Yeah.
And that's what has been putting unnecessary pressure on the taxpayer. And so they should avoid any temptation, especially when we are in election year, to overspend. Otherwise, it throws the economy out of gear, and then it brings undue hardship to the business community and the consuming public alike. Now, he promised not to. They said there was not going to be additional taxes, and true, that one will also help us, because if you recall, the plastic industry recently were very worried about the new taxes that were going to be imposed on them, the 5% excise tax and all that. So with the removal of with that policy not to increase to add new taxes, is going to bring a lot of respite for these people. So we are happy. And then government also have brought some intervention to the SMEs, knowing that we've suffered a lot. We've lost a lot, because depreciation means depreciation of funds. And the SMEs need access to funds to, if we should grow and even diversify. Now they want us to divest from importation. So if you want us to divert from the importation, then you have to give us the resources to go into manufacturing and then exports and all that. So, and that fund that has been earmarked for the SMEs is in good order, and we are very happy with that. If only it will be targeted to the rightful people who need this, Exactly, and this are personalized anywhere I've gone because you may have the good intention, but if you do not direct the funds to the right place, then of course it becomes business as usual, and it will not help the cause of businesses.
But were you expecting this, especially with the SMEs? Or you had other expectations?
We have met with the finance ministry before.
Okay.
And then we had a hint of this, and then the president has also launched the whole program earlier, about a week before the budget was announced. So we were in the know of a started fund. Yeah.
But was there something else you were expecting you didn't hear from the finance minister yesterday?
Generally, let me say that if you look at the figures, if you look at the even the effort that they've done in the debt restructuring program and all that, the debt reliefs and all that we've gotten, I think we can clearly see that the government is making effort to revitalize the economy, and that's where we want to call on government not to be complacent or be happy with these small gains, and then do even better and sustain these gains to help the generality of the economy. Yes.
Okay, but is it reflecting in your daily work as traders? You are the president. Is it reflecting? Do you see it in our everyday lives?
The exchange rate, you look at where the exchange rate is, we are talking about stability. We are not talking about the reduction of the rates. I hope we have to get these things. And then also, I've told you that we didn't get any removal of taxes because that is not to be expected in the media budget review. So the cost of doing business remains the same. High cost of doing business remains the same. The SM rate, the effect of the SM rate also remains the same. So it still puts us in a hard position. That's why we are still calling that government should do everything in its capacity, the measures that they have to bring to bear to make sure that we are able to gain even more in terms of the stability of the economy, inflation, and others. Yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. We'll get back to you on that. But, Prof, let's come back to you. As an expert, when you look at the macroeconomic indicators presented in the mid-year budget review, are we really going to the other side? I mean, the positive side, because the finance minister noted that we are going to the negative side, and currently things are turning up, and so we are going through the positive side. Are we really going there?
Well, from the people say that of those I have this, once inflation rate is coming down and interest rate is coming down, you still see estimate rates moving up day in and day out. So you ask yourself, what is the economic gains when your inflation is coming down and then exchange rate is fully priced increase from another end? And that means that you are more or less running variables that are of what we call zero-sum game. And so, from where I sit, we've not made any gain. If you want to measure an economy that has a tendency of doing well, look at the income structure. Now everything is financed with ratio. So you ask yourself, when is the market going to reorient itself to ensure that government and business can have long-term fight. Because without long-term fight, you cannot, put up infrastructure assets. And so I wonder how all those infrastructure development that was listed, how they are financed. Because If we are financing them with expensive bills and taxes, then obviously we have a problem. But we're going to face a problem that we call the financial market refinancing risk. Because at the point where expensive bills are matured, you don't have enough capital to pay them, and you have no choice than to continue to issue new treasury bills to pay off existing ones. And so, from where I sit, I think we are not out of the woods yet. But then, with a political lens, obviously you will say that we are doing well. To the extent that even going through the restructuring, the finance minister started an achievement, which for me is not an achievement, because it run an economy to a point where we have to restructure our debt, you will make the economy lose its credibility. And as we speak now, I don't know when we can attract portfolio investment into our economy to make sure that we expand the big portfolio investment. So, from where I say, we are not doing that well. But then, if you, look at it from the political lens, and then look at the numerical reduction of inflation and interest rate, you will say we are doing. It takes very few years to appreciate that. Yes, we are not doing well.
Prof, are you saying that these are mere political talks?
Yes, of course. If that's what you want me to say, yeah. Because you yourself, you know what's happening on the market. So,
all right. I'm asking this.
And then prices become big. I just bought rice right now, and rice that I used to buy at 450 is now 756. And so the inflation rate that you are telling me is 20%. It's more than that, because if you have an item that was being sold around 100 cedis, and inflation goes to 54 cedis, the new price is not 400 cedis. The price is 1. And if inflation reduces, reduce 33%, and you take 33% of the 154. How much is it? Let's say, let me approximate it. You get it around, add the to the 154. That's 204. We didn't just numerical example that I'm giving you. We are talking about a price increase of 100%, double price.
Yeah.
So effectively, me and you know very well that the market is not good as being portrayed in the reading that the finance minister did for us.
Okay, so there's a quote from the finance minister. He says that the exchange rate has largely stabilized compared to December 2022, despite the recent pressures. Now, the 18.6% depreciation rate to the US dollar as of June 2024 represents an improvement over the 22.0% recorded for the same period last year, that is 2023. And gross international reserves reached 3.1 months of imports as at the end of June 2024 against the 2.5 months of imports in the same period last year. Do you agree with these figures, or you have your own doubts?
I do. You see, when it comes to balance payments and then import, as an economy, we can't run an economy where our import cover is 0.8, of the month. It's not up to 1 month. So obviously, the target has all been running it to a point where at least we have, I think so far in our old budget, we normally do a 3 to 4 months. So if we've been able to build up buffer, which will cover, almost 3 months of importation, that is a good 6 months. But then, what does the next 6 months hold? Because we are about to service our debt, as I mentioned earlier. We are about to service our debt. And servicing your debt means that you require more money, especially when it comes to the external debt. And that is why I have seen that the finance minister was in drawing up the exchange rate level that they're going to work on. He just mentioned that exchange rate has been stable. Exchange rate has been, the depreciation has been high. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, the depreciation has been high, but what is the future? Can we cut 400 billion when we finish the Euro bond, what we call it, the Euro bond restart? So these are the things I'm expecting from the finance minister to provide some assurance, because he himself admitted to the fact that the market is being driven by speculation. The exchange rate market is being driven by speculation. If the market is being driven by speculation, then you don't create more uncertainty in the market. But the greatest the activities thrive on uncertainty. And so you should have given us some specific objectives as far as our exchange rate is concerned, and the buffer of quality. Beat up those obligations that come in the next 6 months.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. But what are your fears for the next 6 months? I mean, we are just a few months before the year ends. What are your fears?
Well, I would not call that a fear. I would say the true picture of the economy will show up in the next 6 months. That is when we start servicing our debts.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. We'll come back to you. But let's go to Dr. Obeng. Dr. Obeng, if you are still there. Now, taking a look at some of the taxes that were not scrapped off, from where you sit, are the traders okay? What will be their fate in the next 5 months before the year ends? Doc, please unmute yourself so that we can hear you.
Okay, so the status quo remains. It means that cost of clearing is still very high. The effects of the exchange rate is still very there. And so you just pass on the cost to the consuming public. But most times it's not also easy, because it's not that you look on and then you pass on the cost to the consuming public, because when that happens, the ability of the purchasing power of the consumer also reduces, and they are unable to buy the same volume of goods that they are unable to buy the volumes that they used to buy. When that happens, it curtails on our turnover. The business thrives on turnover. If you do not have the turnover, it means that you are unable to service your supplier's credit. You are unable to service your loan at the banks and all that. So it's not that easy. Where you even say that, okay, I will simply pass on the cost to the consumer, because we are the business that we do not do it in isolation. We do it with our customers, and that's where the difficulty is. But once in this particular regard with the taxes and all that, that's why we've taken the opportunity to talk to all the flag bearers, and they've all understood our plight, and that's why most of them have started talking about flat tax system, fixed tax system. Almost all of them are in agreement with the fact that the cost of doing business is excessively high, and that we have to do something to minimize it and to make it affordable. And so that's the only hope that we have for the future, that they are all going to take. That's why the mainstream budget in November, we are going to make sure that most of these taxes are removed or reduced. Yeah.
Now the inflation rate is going through the positive way, and then you look at the currency, that's Ghanaian cedi against the US dollar, and it's also dancing its way back into where it's supposed to be. Considering all this, do you think that the prices of goods and services will remain stable, or there's a possibility of it going upwards again?
It depends. The SM rate is very key in our pricing. So if we're able to gain some strength in the city, definitely it will trickle down to the prices that we also sell to the consumers. But if the status quo remains, it means that we also have to do same as we see in the market. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on government's trade policies so far? I mean, for this year, from January to June.
Yeah, that's why the interventions that government provided is going to facilitate trade, especially with the SMEs. Government has also earmarked some support for specific industries like pharmaceuticals, garment industry, and all that. The government still is talking about trade diversification, where we reduce excessive importation, and then that's why they are calling for import substitution and all that. I believe this is the direction of trade, and we are all going to move along that path.
But do we have the capacity? Do we have the manpower to go into this activity, producing our own things and all that? Yes, our own production.
So far, you see, the problem is we have to identify the areas that we have comparative advantage. That's what is needed, because we cannot say that we want to industrialize and that we can do everything. It's never possible. So we look at the areas that we have comparative advantage, where we have our strength, and then make sure that we make those things the hub of manufacturing in this country. Make sure that we produce to self-sufficiency, and then we can think about restriction of import. Yeah.
All right, Doctor. Thank you so much. Professor, thank you so much. But we'd like to take a quick break. But to all our viewers, we've been discussing the review of the mid-year budget, and we've talked about a number of issues, including the pricing of goods and services, what traders can do, and then where traders stand as it stands today. We've also talked about the overall look of the mid-year budget review in Parliament yesterday. We would get back from the break, and then we'll talk about some of the key initiatives that were highlighted in the mid-year budget review. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll take a quick break. We'll return shortly.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240-154825, or 0244-596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready for another experience of educative, fun, culture, and an atmosphere of worship? Then it's another Yasta season The Youth Development Ministry of the Methodist Church Ghana is inviting all young people in the connection to the 19th Binary Youth and Student Assembly from the 1st to 4th of August 2024 at the Pentecost Convention Center, PCC, Kaswa. Don't be left out. Come have an amazing experience.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us on the final part of the States. We've been discussing the review of the 2024 media budget presentation in Parliament yesterday, and our guests have joined us online already, and they are in the presence of Professor 𝗟𝗵𝗘𝗏, who is an associate professor of finance at the University of Ghana Business School. Then again, Dr. 𝗟𝗑𝗏𝗘𝗏, who is the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. Currently, we are moving on to some key initiatives mentioned in the review yesterday. And so let's take a look at, Doc, let me come to you. Let's look at the SMEs and then the amounts that has been allocated to them. What do you think about this? Hello, Doc. All right, and we'll come back to that. But Prof, government has allocated some 5.4 billion Ghana cedis to bolster the livelihood empowerment against poverty. That's the LEAP program, NHIS, and then also the school feeding program. We sat here sometime last week and we mentioned that the school feeding program, each student is given at least 1 cedi 20 pesos. But from September this year, that's the next academic year, it will be that amount will be pushed to about 1 cedi 50 pesos. What do you think about this? Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. Okay, and so some of the key initiatives that has been highlighted in the budget before we get our guests back online is that government has allocated some 5.4 billion Ghana cedis to bolster the livelihood empowerment against poverty. That's a LEAP program. We sat here somewhere last week and we indicated that each household, that is not one person, but a household, so we are talking about a particular family, benefits about 64 or 63 Ghana cedis every 3 months. And so from January, February, March, you're going to get 63 Ghana cedis. Then March, April, May, you also get 63. So once every 3 months. Then again, the National Health Insurance Scheme would also receive some amounts to help push the agenda. And so when you have your National Health Insurance card, you get into any health facility and they accept NHIA cards, then you'll be taken care of. But then again, we'd ask ourselves if the money would cover for every other treatment, because some of them you'd have to pay for it. Then we'd also talk about the school feeding initiative. Currently, a student is given 1 cedi 20 pesos, but from September 2024, that's the next academic year, students will be given 1 cedi 50 pesos. That is a 30 pesos upgrade for that amount. Prof, thank you so much for joining us again. Prof. Hello, Professor 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏. Are you there? Yes, I can hear you now. So we're talking about some of the key initiatives mentioned in this year's budget, and one of them has to do with the 5.4 billion Ghana cedis that has been allocated to NHIS, LEAP, and then the school feeding program. What do you think of this? What do you make of this?
Yeah, those are social gap at the government. The government cannot do anything to fulfill them, because if you look at the IMF program, we gave room for those social provisions. Even though the economy is hard up, those vulnerable ones who are likely to slip into poverty line needs to be supported. And as a result of that, I'm not surprised to see. Like I told you, that this budget is a budget. So whatever we agreement had, if you bounce it or reflect it on the budget, you see clearly exactly what we are doing. So from what I said, I'm not surprised to see those provisions as well.
Now, when you take a look at the school feeding program, especially, each student was given or is given 1 cedi 20 pesos. Currently, you look at the Auditor General's report, and it says that they went to other regions to check, and some of the corn that were being used, or the corn dough that were being used, some of the rice, they didn't even have any protein in it at all. Is the 1 cedi 20 pesos enough? Currently, 30 pesos has been added to it. Is it enough?
Well, when you are producing for the masses, it's different from if you treat individuals in isolation.
Okay.
And then what I can say is that, yes, per head, 1 cedi 30 pesos.
20 is 1 cedi 20.
Individually.
Yeah.
1 cedi 20 pesos. We treat it at the individual level. Don't buy anything.
Sure.
Not even water. So effectively, I would say that yes, indeed, government has made provision. And then if it's a school feeding program, then we don't expect that government to absorb all the cost 100%.
Okay.
Then we expect probably the assembly and then some of the schools to use the IGF to support whatever government is giving them. Unless maybe government has given the signal that they are sponsoring and taking up everything 100%.
You mentioned the IGF, that's the internally generated fund. This time around, the schools are not taking fees, they are not paying anything. So how do they generate their own funds?
They are not what?
I mean, the basic school level, it is free.
Okay, right. So if it's free, then I will tell you that the 1 cedi 20 pesos, whatever, cannot buy anything.
Okay.
And that is why some of the kids are being fed without fish and all that.
All right, thank you so much. But then again, government says it's going to reintroduce the road tolls. In 2020, it was scrapped off. As we speak, most of the stalls that used to serve as a house for the toll, the collection of the toll, that's the toll booth. Most of them have deteriorated. If you are pushing this money into it, won't a chunk of it go into reconstructing these toll booths?
Well, the toll booths reintroduction, they have to appreciate the dynamics of the economy.
Okay.
The economy has gotten to a point where, government cannot finance roads.
Okay.
All by itself, as it's supposed to. So they need a private hands in it. But the private man, they want to know what you are generating from roads before they put their money in there. So if you remove road tolls, and then you say that you're going to collect levy, for which part of it will be used to offset the road tolls that you have stopped collecting.
Okay.
Then it means that it will be difficult to identify exactly what you are generating from roads as far as the yield levy is concerned. And so bringing it back, well, it will be expensive to bring it back, as you're saying, because of the cost of rebuilding some of the toll booths and all. But look at it in the long term, how you can generate the tolling. If you project it for the next 20 years, then
Hello, sir. Hello, Prof. Okay, Dr. Obeng, I hope you are back. Okay, we'll leave it here, but then again, I mentioned that some of the key initiatives then will be implemented by government. It says that the increased school feeding program beneficiaries from about 1,600,000 people in 2016 to about 3,800,000 beneficiaries this year, that is 2024. Again, there's an increase in leap benefits from 49 million Ghana cedis in 2016 to 423 million Ghana cedis today to support about 350,000 households as compared to the 212,000 households that were benefiting in the year 2016. The increased spending on NHIs from 1.1 billion Ghana cedis in 2016 to 6.5 billion Ghana cedis, and through digitalization, increased active membership from 10.8 million in 2018 to over 17 million people. Now, there is also an increased capitation grant per child from 5 cedis in 2016 to 15 cedis in 2024. Then there's a district assembly common fund with persons living with disabilities has also increased to 50%. There's also some doubled amount or the recipients when it comes to the Students' Loan Trust Fund. This is what we've been discussing here on The State. We discussed the review of the 2024 budget that went on in Parliament yesterday, and I hope that you sat at home and you listened to all the tidbits on that. Then again, we've discussed a number of issues here, what government can do in terms of taxes and all that, what were their expectations from our guests. And they also made mention that they were expecting something, but then they didn't hear what they were expecting. But they hope that whatever government has come up with, they'll be able to go through with it. Thank you so much for joining us. My guests were Professor 𝗟𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗲, who is an associate professor of finance at the University of Ghana Business School, and Dr. 𝗟𝗑𝗪𝗚, who is the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. My name is 𝗟𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗲. Thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedules and watching us. This program was proudly brought to you by the Christian Service University located in Kumasi. Admissions for the next semester or the next academic year is ongoing. Pick up a form, and if you qualify, you'll be admitted into the school. We'll come your way same time on Friday. Make a date with us and enjoy the rest of our programs.